What's up, everyone? It's Jimmy Grapponi here. Man, it is bright in the background. Let me see if I can fix that for you real quick. Doing this thing live, talking about quick recap of the Carolina Panthers game last night against the New Orleans Saints. It was the home opener for the Panthers this season, week 2. Bryce Young's debut in front of the home crowd in a regular season game as well. So there was a lot of excitement around it. And it was a Monday night game. So for the first time this year, and I believe it's the first of 3 times this year, where there will actually be a Monday night doubleheader. The Panthers were the first game. We got the B team when it came to the broadcasting team. We didn't have Joe and Troy, and I don't even know what game the Mannings were watching. I don't know if they were watching ours or not. They were probably talking about both of them. Never turned that broadcast on. But Carolina Panthers have started out the season 0-2 with 2 losses in the NFC South. And one of the surprising things about the NFC South, which everyone says is the weakest or one of the weakest divisions in football, is that the Saints, the Falcons, and the Bucks are all 2-0, and we're 0-2. The Panthers are 0-2. With the Panthers, 2 losses, both being divisional losses. We lost in week 1 to the Atlanta Falcons 24-10. Lost this one 20-17 in a game that was close. It was tight for most of the game. We had to score a last-minute touchdown to even get it as close as 20-17, and that came, I think, thanks in large part to the Saints almost playing like a prevent defense. They were playing a lot softer defense than they were in the throughout most of the game. Now the Panthers, the announcers, I should say, were talking about the New Orleans Saints defense and really propping them up as one of the best defenses in the NFL. But I gotta say, the Panthers defense, went toe-to-toe with them. If there's a highlight of the game, and I guess you always try to look for positives whenever there's a game. Probably the biggest positive I would say was the defense, and that was even after losing one of our marquee defensive players in Shaq Thompson. He had what they first described as a shin injury, and then later updated to an ankle injury late in the first quarter. So he was out of the game. You think, man, this is probably our best linebacker. But actually, I think Frankie Luvu might be our best linebacker. And then we had this Cruiser Hill guy come in, and he had five solo tackles, 1 assisted tackle, and a sack. Frankie Luvu had 4 solos, 5 assisted, and 2 sacks. But yeah, this Cruiser Hill guy, he came in and got some action. He was Shaq Thompson's backup playing in the middle, and he performed really, really well. So, all right, let's get into it a little bit, though. Everybody was excited about seeing Bryce Young, the number 1 overall draft pick, seeing what he was going to be able to do in his home debut against a really tough New Orleans Saints defense. And here's his stats. He completed 67% of his passes, 22 of 33 for 153 yards, which comes out, let me see if I can do the quick math right here. It's going to be pretty low as far as average per attempt. They flashed a stat up on the screen during the game too. So that's 4.63 yards, 4.64 yards per pass attempt, which is the lowest average per pass attempt in the NFL right now. Granted, all right, let's remember this guy's a rookie. We're not expecting a ton, or we're not expecting for him to be a world beater on the NFL stage this early in the season. Certainly hope that he's able to show some progress and get his game going and start to push the ball downfield and make some more dynamic plays as the season goes on. And we did see a couple of glimpses, a few flashes that we didn't see. I didn't notice in the game against Atlanta. That last drive, of course, was really strong when we went down the field when the Saints were effectively playing prevent defense. and when we finally went down and scored a touchdown. But he made some big plays with his feet. There was a big play, I believe it was a 3rd and 9 maybe, and he scrambled for probably 40 yards. And that was in the first half, I believe, because we got into really good field position. We were in field goal range. We were in the red zone, hoping we would get a touchdown. Then, third long, I think it was, we ended up fumbling the ball. He fumbles the ball, and they end up kicking the ball, bounces backwards the other way, and the Saints ended up getting the ball back. Fortunately, on a short field, the Saints didn't score, but we passed up. That was 3 points right there. We ended up losing by 3 points. Could have been the difference in possibly going into overtime. So, what were some bright spots? Let's see. Miles Sanders, 14 carries, 43 yards. That was not a bright spot. Bryce Young, 2 carries for 34 yards. His scrambling was pretty good. Adam Thielen was the leading receiver. 7 catches is good, but only 54 yards. DJ Chark had 1 catch for 15 yards. So he was the only one that averaged more than 10 yards per catch. Mingo had 3 for 26, with most of it coming on that long pass towards the end of the game. Let's see what else here. Struggles. One of the things, the biggest struggle, the biggest disappointment, I think, right now is not Bryce Young, who, again, is only in the 2nd game of his career, but it's Ickey Ekwonu, our number 6 overall draft pick, our top pick last year, the road grader of an offensive tackle who's supposed to just maul people. Remember last year, he struggled in the first game against the Browns, gave up 2 sacks to Myles Garrett, and everyone could say, hey, it's a rookie. He's going up against one of the best defensive linemen, one of the best edge rushers in the game. He gave up 2 sacks. He came back strong and actually had a really strong rookie season the rest of the way. But he struggled all preseason, and so far he's really struggled in his pass protection this year as well. On that play that I mentioned earlier where Bryce Young got strip sacked, that was Ickey. He's our left tackle. He got beat by the edge rusher coming in. He got beat. The guy got by him, chased down Bryce Young all the way on the other side of the field, and strip sacked him. So, I mean, when Bryce Young is running to the right and the guy that's coming from the left side is able to chase him down and get a strip sack, he had to run behind the line of scrimmage probably 25, 30 yards to even get to him. That just shows how quickly he beat Ekwonu and how little resistance Ekwonu put up. So he's really, if he's going to be our franchise left tackle, which is what we thought we got when we drafted him last year, man, he's really going to have to improve a lot. The thing I noticed with Bryce Young, I saw some flashes. When he is decisive and when he gets rid of the ball, he does this thing, man, where he flips his hips. It's similar. It reminds me of Dak Prescott. If you ever watch him, how he kind of is able to turn his hips and contort his body. Patrick Mahomes is able to do that as well. But he does this when he throws the ball. He does this quick little hip flip, and just the ball comes out super quick. And that's when he's real decisive. But he gets the ball, and it's going to be funny to say because stature-wise, he's nothing like Cam. But he almost reminds me of Cam when he first gets the snap. Remember Cam used to get the ball and stand there flat-footed like a statue, looking around and then make a decision. You see a lot of quarterbacks who are light on their feet, kind of bounce on their toes. And Bryce Young is certainly athletic and shifty. But I noticed like when he first gets the ball, he gets it. And instead of kind of bouncing and being in an athletic position ready to go, he takes a step or two back, like he's just walking backwards, like he's just standing in the park. And the perception, and maybe this is not right on my part, but the perception is that he's almost too relaxed. He's too slow with his decision making in the pocket. And I feel like he needs, when he gets when the ball is snapped, he needs to be ready to go. Like the appearance is when he gets the ball, he's not ready to get rid of it right away. Maybe that's just his style. I didn't watch him a ton at Alabama. I did see him play some, but maybe that's just maybe that's his style. Maybe that's not anything to actually be concerned about. So anyway, another disappointing loss. We're 0-2 in the NFC South now. But I guess, what are our true expectations going to be? Bright spot, silver lining is definitely the defense. Defense was awesome. Eddie Piniero, our kicker, he made two of his longest career field goal of 54, and I think his second longest at that point. So now his third longest field goal at 52 yards. So he made 2 field goals over 50 yards. He's made 21 in a row, which is the longest active streak in the NFL. So defense, special teams, those 2 facets of the game are firing on all cylinders right now. They're playing really well. But when you consistently have 3 and outs on offense, when the offense, can't sustain drives, then the defense has to keep going back out on the field. And they played really well against an offense, the Saints offense that has a lot of weapons. But as seems to be, as a Panther fan, it seems like for the past few years, we've been in this situation where we've got a strong defense. Defense plays great for about 3 quarters. And then because our offense can't stay on the field, the defense eventually wears down. And then the opposing team starts putting some drives together, and we end up losing late. That's what happened against the Falcons last week. We were harassing Desmond Ridder, and the Falcons offense really didn't do much until the 4th quarter against us. Same thing this week. The Saints offense really didn't do a whole lot until the 4th quarter when they put up 11 points. Outscored us 11-7 in the 4th quarter, but it was 11-0. So going into the 4th quarter, it was we had 6. They had 13 because they had scored a touchdown in the hold on, let me see. I'm sorry, we scored 11 points in the 4th quarter. We were down 13-6 heading into the 4th, and then they went up 20-6 or 20-9. Sorry, they went up 20-9 and seemingly put it out of reach. And then we were able to score that touchdown at the end. Had a chance at an onside kick if Johnny Hecker, our punter, did the onside kick. If we could have gotten one of those high bounces, you never know. We might have been able to recover it, but that's about a 10% proposition anyway, I believe, in the NFL. Whenever you attempt an onside kick, the odds are definitely in the receiving team's favor. You have to get that right bounce, and you just have to have a little bit of luck involved in that one as well. All right, coming up next week, we've got the Seattle Seahawks, who won this past week. Let's see how they're doing right now. Seattle Seahawks crushed in their opener against the Rams 30-13. Bounced back against a really strong Lions team on the road against Detroit. They went on the road to beat the Detroit Lions, who knocked off the Chiefs at Arrowhead in the season opener in Week 1 on Thursday night. So Seahawks, had a really bad loss, and then they had a really strong win. So not sure what that team is going to be just yet, but we head out to the West Coast, which is always a tough trip, when you're playing on the opposite coast from where you're based. So we got a tough game next week in Seattle. Hopefully we can clean some things up, and that's going to be a 4:00 game, folks. So 1:00 game, you can, if you want to watch the NFL Red Zone, you can see all the games going on. If you want to go out and just enjoy the day, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to do in and around the Charlotte area or wherever you live. Enjoy the early part of the day and then watch the Panthers at 4. Hopefully they'll give us something a little bit more to cheer about. One thing I'll say, the Seahawks have given up 30 points in the first game and 31 in the second game. So the defense is not playing well. This was against the Saints. We scored a touchdown with a minute to go. That was the first touchdown that they've given up all season. So maybe a little momentum going into the next game against the Seahawks defense that isn't playing very well, and our defense is playing well. So who knows? Maybe we upset some people. Maybe we score some more points. I just want to see some consistency and some excitement. I want to see some downfield plays, some creativity in the offense. Frank Reich, I want to see just some more excitement in the Panthers from the Panthers. These first 2 games have been boring, quite frankly. So ready to see some more excitement from the Carolina Panthers. Let me know what you think. If you're a Carolina Panthers fan, I'd love to get your feedback on what's going on with the Panthers through the first 2 weeks. And we'll see you later. Take care. Keep pounding.